Hi guys, Thierry here, and today I've decided to do a follow-up video to my movie ticket collection. I did it quite a few years ago now, 2022 I think it was, like wow. And yeah, another thing, obviously this is not my 2000 subscriber special. Don't worry, it's coming. I just wanted to do a few more casual videos in between that big, like, milestone moment. So yeah, I decided to follow up my movie ticket collection. Well, I guess rather than tickets, they're more just like receipts that I got from the cinema that I keep as memories of when I saw each film. But yeah, before I go through the new ones, I've actually collected a lot more since that first initial video from 2022. Collected way more, been to more movies, I have more memories now. So yeah, but before I talk about the new ones, I'm just gonna recap over, the first ones in the Sorry, I mean the tickets in the last video. I'm not gonna give my opinions of each film because that video is already out there. And I'm gonna try to go through them all as quickly as possible. So yeah, my very first ticket, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, 21st of December, 2015. Yeah, 2015. Wow. So yeah, I've been collecting these close to 10 years now. So that's crazy. Like 10 years of movie memories. So that's crazy. I don't have any from 2016, but I remember seeing Kung Fu Panda 3 and Secret Life of Pets that year. So we're going to skip to 2017. That was Spider Man Homecoming. And, ugh, I don't like this movie. Star Wars Episode 8 The Last Jedi. I also saw Cars 3 and Baby Driver in 2017. 2018, there's no tickets, but I do remember seeing Bohemian Rhapsody. So I'm gonna skip to 2019, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Joker, but no Joker 2 because that movie was awful. Really bad sequel. But yeah, only movie in 2020 because well, pandemic happened. Sonic the Hedgehog. Now this one is probably like the it's probably the ticket that's gosh, has been the most badly affected over the years. Yeah, some of these receipts don't have very strong ink on them and they fade away. Unfortunately, that's what's happened to my Dune ticket, or also known as Dune Part 1. I've tried to draw on it in pen, over all the information, but unfortunately, yeah, a lot of it was just too far gone. So yeah, that really sucks, but at least I have the video showing it already, so you know what it looks like. So yeah, Matrix 4 and Spider-Man No Way Home. So yeah, that was pretty much where I got up to in the last video. So yeah, we're going to continue where I left off with The Batman, 5th of March 2022. Yep, I saw this with my best mate. This movie was great. I do think that The Dark Knight from 2008 is still better, but I really loved the darker aesthetic it had. Robert Pattinson was surprisingly pretty damn good as Batman. You know, kind of emo, alt aesthetic. But yeah, I also like Riddler. He was kind of like a masked serial killer. And Catwoman also had massive tomboy energy. So yeah, really good movie. This is like a weird looking one, but this is the ticket for Sonic 2. I saw it at Rio Cinema, so that was my first time going there. But yeah, honestly, I think the Sonic movies just get better and better. This is the one that introduces Tails, and he's my favorite character. So yeah, and Knuckles as well. Knuckles was great. It was just the wedding subplot was like really cringy, but it didn't last too long. Now, a real great blockbuster, this one. Top Gun Maverick. I saw this a week after my 21st birthday. I invited like a whole bunch of my friends to go see this movie, so that'll always be a great memory of mine, seeing this movie. Now, I never cared about the first Top Gun movie. I think it's kind of a crappy movie, like 5 or even 4 out of 10. But Top Gun Maverick, like, was just wow. Like the plane, like the fighter pilot scenes, all the plane scenes were just like breathtaking on the big screen, and the sound design too. Like it gave you that feeling of like being on a roller coaster watching it, like that gut feeling. But yeah, I love that movie so much that I saw it again on 13th of June. Very rarely do I see films twice, but this one I did. The Bob's, which, if you're wondering what that is, that was the Bob's Burgers movie. I saw this on a date, but yeah, not a good movie. I think even the fans of the series weren't a fan of this. Too many just crappy songs. I don't even remember them. They tried to make it a musical. Yeah, not a very good movie, and I don't think it made very much money. But the 2D animation was nice. Skipping several months here to October when I saw Halloween Ends. Now, I did see Halloween Kills in 2021, a year previously, and the film's okay. I like it a lot more now. It's very over the top, like violent slasher movie. But I had a bad experience in the cinema watching it. But Halloween Ends, yeah, not a great movie. Probably on the same level as like Resurrection and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Corey was like not a very liked character. It just wasn't that good of a conclusion. But I saw this with like another friend who loves horrors, and we actually had a drink before seeing it, so that's a good memory. But yeah, not a great film. Okay, back to Odeon. I actually saw this one twice, but I don't have the other ticket. This was Avatar: The Way of Water. The long-awaited sequel to Avatar from 2009. Yeah, similar to the first movie. Better visuals than like the actual characters and story. The water effects and the planet was just great. And I did see it actually, like I think on Christmas Eve. I saw it on like with the Real D 3D glasses, but I don't have the receipt for that. But yeah, I saw it twice with different friends. So yeah. Now we're in 2023. This was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Now this movie came out in like the tail end of 2022, but I think the UK got it in like January or February, so this might have been like one of the last weeks it was shown. And I'm so glad I got to see it. I saw it with my dad. He seemed to enjoy it. And this movie was just, oh my god, it was so good. So good. Just like really funny, super emotional. The new characters were interesting. Puss in Boots, his character's turmoil with like the 9 lives and, Death, who's a wolf. It was so great. Such a great movie. I mean, like, the original movie was fun from 2011, but this sequel blows it out the water. Now, this one is Odeon again. That was the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Sorry about that. Super Mario Bros. Movie. It was okay. I mean, I feel like it's the kind of movie that was made for like Mario adults who are like really into, Mario adults, Nintendo adults who like love the games and the brand. I didn't really get much out of it, you know. It was decent kids movie, I guess. Chris Pratt wasn't sorry. Chris Pratt wasn't that bad as Mario, as people say, but just not a very memorable movie, you know. And Princess Peach honestly acted a lot more like Daisy in this movie. Like, they should have just, Like, if they were gonna have, like, a tough princess, just put Daisy in it, But it was okay. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I saw this with the same friend I saw Mario with. Yeah, this is like the fifth Indiana Jones movie, and yeah, I did not like it. I mean, it even made, like, I mean, the Crystal Skull is hated, but even that movie was at least more enjoyable than this. Harrison Ford, he clearly didn't want to do it, did it for a paycheck, and the one, like, female character in the movie, she was just horrible. Just like, I hated her. She treated Indy like crap, and she was just very sort of like narcissistic, psychopathic character. Like, I don't know if they tried to make her like an, female empowerment message, but it just didn't work. But I do like the time travel scenes; they were fun. Oppenheimer. Now, this was the probably the biggest, news, probably the biggest event in 2023, other than obviously wars and other news events. This was the summer of Barbenheimer. So, two completely different movies releasing in the same summer, and so many glorious memes were made. It was such a fun time. I loved it. And I did end up seeing both. But I saw Oppenheimer with my guy friend, because he had no interest in seeing Barbie. But yeah, obviously, pretty bleak movie, but I enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, it's World War II. I mean. But it was very long. I think I missed a few scenes because I had to go take a pee break. That's how long it was. And Barbie, which was about a week later. I saw this on the date as well. Damn traffic. But yeah, honestly, this movie was better than I thought it was going to be. It actually had quite a positive, like, message. I kind of liked how it reflected sort of Barbie as a brand. It was really funny. I enjoyed, like, just the aesthetic of the movie was really fun. The costumes and the set design. I honestly thought it was pretty good. I'm glad that I watched it. Okay, Strays. Now, I saw this with my parents because, they love dogs, especially because the main dog in the movie, I think played by Will Ferrell, is a border terrier, and that's the dog that we have. But yeah, this movie wasn't that good. Kind of typical adult comedy that's not very adult, very immature, toilet humor. Um, I barely remember the movie other than, like, it had a few gross out moments. And the villain was, like, extremely hateable. So when he got his, like, comeuppance in the end, he fully deserved it. That was a really funny scene, honestly. But other than that, I don't remember it. A Haunting in Venice. I saw this with my parents as well. This was this is like another Detective Poirot movie. They've done a few based on the novels. I don't remember it much other than like it being a little bit more spookier. For I mean, it's a murder mystery anyway, but I just remember the costumes and the set design was really pleasant to look at. But other than that, I don't remember it. Now, the last movie. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, the final movie of 2023 I saw was just before Christmas Eve, and that was Wonka. Yeah, I mean, I love Timothy Chalamet. He's an awesome actor. But yeah, this movie was like it kind of lacked the sort of like dark humor that the other Willy Wonkas had. This one, it was definitely more Oliver inspired, like Victorian musical inspired. Definitely made for a younger audience. But I enjoyed it. It was okay. I don't know if I'd watch it again though. Moving on to 2024, this was Migration. This was the Illumination movie about the ducks. I think it was actually like an original story, surprisingly. So, which is you don't get a lot of films like that nowadays. They're either book or book adaptations or remakes or sequels. But this seemed like an original story. But yeah, I don't really remember the movie. There was a few cute scenes, but I mostly remember going to watch it because, well, I was on a date, and there was one family, but they ended up leaving. So we were just in an empty cinema, just like laughing at this movie and just like absolutely taking the piss out of it. So that was a great memory. And this is another big blockbuster, Dune Part 2. Now, you know this movie, I'd probably waited, um, you know, close to 3 years, well, 2.5 years for the sequel to Dune. And this remake was everything I wanted. It continued the book really well. I mean, the sandworm scene and the final fight with Fade, all those iconic moments, finally captured on the big screen again, in a, what would you say, in a faithful adaptation, It was amazing. I loved it. It was even better than the first one. I'm so happy with this movie. And I have it on Blu ray. So, yeah, I saw it with one of my friends, and then I saw it a week later with my other two friends. So yeah, like I said, I don't usually see movies twice, but Dune 2. I wanted to see Dune Part 1 twice, but I didn't have anyone to go with. So yeah. Kung Fu Panda 4. This movie's okay. I think it's on the same level as 3. I don't think it's that bad of a film, but it didn't really need to exist. I didn't like how Poe wasn't the Dragon Warrior like anymore, you know. And the villain, the chameleon, was a bit disappointing. She could have been better, but it was okay, all things considered. Now back to Rio Cinema. This is actually the first movie on here that was a box office bomb. Like I can finally say I saw a movie that bombed, and that was The Fall Guy. And you know what? This movie was like okay. Like it was pretty funny at times, not all the time, but I liked how it was a dedication to, stuntmen or stunt people, you know, in the industry. It felt like it was like a love letter to them. It was based off of some like 70s TV show I never heard of, so I enjoyed it, but they just didn't advertise it very well. Oh yeah, and by the way, I saw both of these movies in like a friend group that I go to, a little community group. And this one is Deadpool and Wolverine. So yeah, that was the big summer blockbuster. I think it was the highest grossing film of the year. Um, yeah, I'll admit something. I don't like Deadpool. I think I just think he's not funny. I don't like his personality. I don't like characters like that. But I went to go see this movie because of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Seeing him again, was great. Last time we saw him was Logan. And he had the yellow suit, and there's all kinds of throwbacks to the 20th Century Fox era, pre MCU era Marvel movies, which were like my childhood almost. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was okay. My Hero Academia, You're Next. I saw this on a date, and we wore cosplay together. We were Deku and Uraraka, so that was already a fun memory. I'll always remember that. And we took pictures as well. But yeah, I think this was the fourth MHA movie, and it wasn't that good. I don't really remember it very much, but like I mean, I love seeing anime in the cinema, so it was worth it. Gladiator 2. This movie, it was okay. I don't really think it needed to exist, but the action and the gore was like really well done. It was entertaining, and the CGI animals, but it didn't really need to exist, especially 24 years after, like, the great standalone movie, Last movie I saw last year, and that was Sonic 3. I wanted to see this again, but I didn't have time. Yeah, these movies just keep getting better and better. I loved Sonic 3, Shadow and Maria's, you know, character growth, their story together was really emotional. Dr. Robotnik and his dad, two Jim Carreys. They were hilarious. Yeah, and I just love how they keep introducing new characters. Sonic 3 was great. Now we're on to 2025. Actually, quite a big gap. There was no movies I wanted to see until April, and that was the Minecraft movie. And yeah, I don't like Minecraft. I've never been into it. I tried to play it a few times, and I thought it was boring. Not my kind of thing. But this movie was kind of getting a bit of an infamous reputation with like Chicken Jockey and I Am Steve. So I went to go see it, like on a date. And honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The film was ridiculous. There was definitely some uncanny valley CGI. It was very silly, but you know what? It wasn't boring. It was entertaining, and I really liked, the main character, the little boy, and his relationship with his older sister. That was really sweet. Honestly, the movie had heart, so I can't complain. Now we're on to the last two pages. Superman. Now we're into the superhero blockbuster, movies. Superman, directed by James Gunn. This was a very different pace than, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. We actually got a more traditional adaptation, typical lawful good Superman doing the right things. And you know what? I really enjoyed that. That's what Superman should be. It was like very hopeful, it was colorful. I mean, it could have been there could have been more action, I think. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. And Lex Luthor was also just very hateable, but funny. Like in a good way. And the other one was in August, 13th of August. Fantastic Four, The First Steps. Now, this is easily the best Fantastic Four movie. I mean, I like the two movies from the 2000s, even though they're not perfect. But and obviously Fan Four Stick from 2015 was just horrible. But this movie was great. It went kind of back to it went back to that sort of retro aesthetic. It was very nice and colourful. The character relationships were good. And we finally got a good version of Galactus, and I really liked Silver Surfer, the female version. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I loved it. And another thing as well, my friend who works at the cinema actually managed to get me like an authentic poster of the movie. So like a one sheet poster, and I'll hold that close to my heart. And who knows, it might be worth something one day. And the last movie I saw this year was, you know, I actually only saw this on Thursday, and that was Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. I'm not going to talk about it too much because of spoilers, but I love this movie, um, and it was very, very emotional. It made me cry. I'm not a huge Demon Slayer fan, but like I said, um, I mean, I love anime on the big screen. I'll definitely go to the cinema to watch anime. It's nice to see it getting respected enough to be played in cinemas now. Like wow, anime is it's grown a lot over the past few decades. But yeah, that was an awesome movie. I saw that with my best friend too. And this one here is it's not a ticket, but it was an email that I decided to get printed for when I saw Demon Slayer Mugen Train. The first proper movie I saw when the lockdown ended, 5th of June, 2021. But yeah, not Fast and Furious 9. I don't care about those movies. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little commentary on my memories of the films. I really want to see Avatar: Fire and Ash, and I might see Tron Ares at some point, and obviously Dune Part 3, Messiah, when that comes out. But I'm not sure when I'm gonna do a follow up to this. Um, you know, but maybe one day. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this movie ticket collection. Peace and stay safe. You're not alone and you're loved. Peace out.